It's time again to talk about the repulsive Jenkins. And I swear every day they get more repulsive. Stephanie has several posts she made over on the FB. Now, first one we have, she shows a picture of her griddle, this new griddle. You know, the one that she burns the sausages up, makes them look like hockey pucks, always making pancakes on it. She says on this post of this picture, she says, what is your go-to method to avoiding this when your griddle is your most used appliance in the kitchen? And it's showing she's got like some stained, burned on marks on the griddle, okay? She says, I have been successful up until the last few days, which I strongly feel the difference has been that I've used oil more frequently because I ran out of butter. And of course, we know they can't go buy any because now, as we've heard from Drew, they're no longer getting any food benefits. So please, send Stephanie Jenkins some butter, is what she's saying here. That being said, I'm super careful with cleaning process, and I clean after every use. I could easily Google, but I swear sometimes it's better to get tips directly from people who use the products just as frequently and have found tricks that work for them. So let me know. I'm doing my best to keep this griddle in pristine condition. Stephanie Jenkins cares more about a lousy griddle than she does her children. We don't see her asking for advice on how to get out of this shelter room to get housing for her children. We don't see her asking for recommendations on doctors in the area that she could take Atlas to, because he's nonverbal, not even potty trained at 3.5 years old. Still has a binky in his mouth at 3.5 years old. That poor little boy deserves so much better than her. So we don't ever see asking for any advice on that, but she's going to ask for advice on a griddle. Like I said, she loves her griddle more than she loves her children, especially Atlas. It is so clear to see that she does not love that child. It's sad. It's beyond sad. Then we have a video where she captures, I know it's Thursday, but I forgot to post this, and I'm not wasting content anymore. Laughing emoji. And it's from her Sunday morning where they're getting ready to go to church. She starts off this video with a red light in the kitchen, and she says this is one of the things, that she won't miss when they move. And, it was very rough at first, especially when Nova was still a newborn and, trying not to wake everybody up. Since when has Stephanie ever been concerned about waking up them kids in that shelter room? Since the day they moved in there. She has been loud, awake at all hours of the night, making videos in the middle of the night in the bathroom, cooking after midnight. One time she was making chocolate cake after midnight during the school year when these kids needed their sleep for school. Then she shows, she's doing Addie's hair. She's doing her own hair. She's putting on her mascara for church. Then she shows church time. She's sitting there, and she has Manova on her lap. Of course, Atlas didn't get to go to church once again. That little boy never gets out of that stinking, nasty room because she can't be bothered to take him anywhere. Then she shows, obviously they've come home from church, and Bella is trying to fry bacon, and you can clearly see this girl is afraid. Because, when you fry bacon, that grease is popping everywhere. So she's backed up from it, and Stephanie's telling her, don't be afraid. And Stephanie's urging her to go closer to this pan or griddle, whatever it is that she's making this bacon on. Now, why do you have this child frying bacon? I mean, I understand wanting to teach your kids how to cook and to be showing them the basics, even as young as Bella is. But I would have never had my child that's under 10 years old frying bacon, even if I was right there. And don't be afraid. Okay, tell her that when the grease pops on her, because she's frying bacon, clearly for a video. So it's, look at me, I'm Mom of the Year, I'm spending time with my daughter, and I'm teaching her how to cook. Get out of here, Stephanie. And then, she pans the video onto her, and she's got her mascara on, thinking she's cute. It's ridiculous. Then she shows a picture. She's outside, and she shows a picture of Atlas sitting on her lap with the binky in his mouth. Hair a mess. She's got a straggly looking terrible braid in it. That little boy's hair is a mess. It is so unhealthy, and we have seen what she does for. She uses tea tree oil on it, thinking that's moisturizing his hair. No, that is not a moisturizer. Tea tree oil does not moisturize. And she can't be bothered to do Atlas's hair ever. And he's 3.5 years old. Get off the excuse that you don't know how to do it, because you clearly could have learned in 3.5 years. But we see Manova's hair is always done. Why isn't Atlas's hair done? But she had to show him in this video, and of course caption it. It was weeks ago that this was filmed, and his hair just wasn't done. And Atlas sitting on her lap, he's not even acknowledging her. He looks so dissociated and just staring off into space. It's sad. That little boy deserves so much better. He should be in therapy, speech therapy. He should be in therapy, helping him, deal with textures and eating other stuff. He should. I don't know if he would need medication. I don't know. But she refuses to even go get this boy properly diagnosed when clearly there's an issue when he's nonverbal at 3.5 years old. At 3 years old, I had my children potty trained, and I had them in preschool. So they could, be around kids their own age, play with kids, have fun, start learning more. Not Stephanie. Nope. She won't even get this little boy diagnosed, and it's sad. So that was her Sunday. Then we have this other video. Now, okay, mind you, she posted this video at 4:30 Central Time, my time, Central Time. So that would have been 2:30 in Portland. 2:30 in the morning, okay? And she says writes on this video, even Drew strongly believe I have undiagnosed arachnophobia. Even pictures of spiders make me uncomfortable, laughing emoji. So now we have to be diagnosed to have arachnophobia? The fear of spiders is I would say it's one of the most common fears there is. I hate spiders. Almost everybody hates spiders and has some fear of them. I would almost venture to say that it may be the number one fear. I have never heard of someone having to be diagnosed. She's undiagnosed arachnophobic. Maybe I should call my psychiatrist and say, can you diagnose me with arachnophobia, please? That is one of the stupidest things I've heard in quite some time. Just when I think I can't be any more surprised by her, she does it. It's just, this is the second one that has been big enough to see hair. I don't like that one bit. And I don't know enough about what spider is poisonous versus not. To me, they're just all a threat to my babies. I think I'm going to ask to come in a spray in here because, nope. I think I'm going to ask to come in a spray in here because, nope. Okay, so, and she's, like I said, this would be 2:30 her time. She's in the bathroom, making this video, talking loud as can be, being completely over-performative, saying she feels maybe she needs to go check all her baby's beds, looking for spiders, and she had the flashlight on this spider. You can see the hair on it. Grow up, step on the spider, sweep it up, put it in the toilet, flush it, be done with it, move on. Why are you at 2:30 in the morning going on and on being over-performative about this spider? It was so stupid. And then, her undiagnosed arachnophobia. No, I think you have undiagnosed laziness, undiagnosed stupidity, and I'm sure I could think of some more. She has no logic. She can't think things through that if I get a job and have a guaranteed verifiable income, perhaps it would look good for a landlord and I could get a place for my children to live. But she's perfectly content staying in her spider-filled shelter room, filthy shelter room. And most spiders are not venomous. Maybe the brown recluse, some black widows. But it's nothing to worry about. Step on the spider and move on. Don't go make a video about it being completely over-performative. But yeah, let me know, are you afraid of spiders? And check this video out over on the FB. Let me know what you think about it.